Hi, I'm Robin Scherzer, and welcome to Robin's Stampin' Hood.
Hi everybody, welcome to my second Christmas Stamp-A-Stack for the year, and this is going to be using the Kindest Gnomes. So grab your stamp sets and your dies and your paper and let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start with our first card, and this is kind of like a Build-A-Gnome, as you can see. He is so adorable. So if you have purchased a kit from me, he was all die cut out for you. Otherwise, if you haven't purchased a kit, or if you didn't have I asked some of you ahead if you had the kits, so you have scraps to cut these out. Otherwise, if you didn't have it, I cut them out for you. And if you didn't get one of my kits, you can just follow along. This is Poppy Parade, Bermuda Bay, and Pool Party. So you will need your Pool Party ink pad along with your Sweet Sorbet is actually what I used for the words. And this is one of the new embossing folders in the mini catalog. It's called Whimsical Woodland. And I love it. You can see, again, if you had a kit from me, I did emboss this for you. All the different little trees. Isn't that fun? I love it, love it, love it. So you will need that as well. Or if you have a snowflake background, you could do that yourself too. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I cannot find my Pool Party ink pad. So here's a little tip for you. If you have our Stampin' Write markers, you don't necessarily need our ink pads. And I just had a strip of paper, and now I don't know where the little bugger went to. So let me see here. Let me grab a new one. So this is 4 1/4 by about, I think, 2 inches, 1.5 inches. So I've actually grabbed some stamp sets that I've used in the past. This is from the Penguin stamp set. It's the little snow hill. So all you're going to do, if you don't have it, you can just hand draw it. It doesn't really matter. You can see I'm just creating a hill for our little gnome to sit on. So I'm actually going to take, because again, I can't find my Pool Party ink pad. I have had lots of things going on, and it's probably in one of the bins I haven't unpacked yet. So I do that, and you want to give it a huff to get the ink reactivated. And I'm just going to stamp it on this piece. Perfect. We just wanted to have a little bit of a something something, right? You got that? And then I'm going to take my paper snips and just snip along the edge of it. Pretty easy. Again, just to give it the illusion of a little bit of a snow hill. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put together the card. But actually, you know what? First, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp Merry Christmas. Now, this Merry Christmas is not from the gnome set, the Kindest Gnome set. It's actually from the Peaceful Deer set. I thought it was the perfect size to fit on our little snow hill. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Perfect. But you could use any Merry Christmas. Don't think you have to use, that Merry Christmas. But I just thought it would work well there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put together our card real quick. So this is the thick Whisper White, and I'm going to layer on top of it the Pool Party. And again, this is the embossed with the Whimsical 3D trees that is in the mini catalog. Here's my just layer it right on top of the white. And then we'll take our little snow hill that we just created. And again, if you don't have that penguin set, just to hand cut it works just as well. It's not a big deal. Again, it's just to give the illusion that he's going to be sitting on a snow hill. And then I'm using the iridescent die cut snowflakes. You get 24 of them, I think, for like $5 or $6. Those are in the mini catalog as well. I love these things. Can you see how they kind of glitter, and then they're flat, matte on the back, so you could color them any color your heart desires. So I'm just going to take a glue dot in the middle, because you really don't need it glued down all the way around. You just want to make sure that it stays within your card, because now we're going to kind of layer him on top of it, so you don't really need more than that. Now I am going to take the gems from, and this comes in the Kindest Gnome, the Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Gems. So I am going to take oops, I got the wrong color here. Let's grab the color I have over here. And again, if you had kits from me, you should have gotten some of these dots in your little bags. And that I'm just going to put right in the middle of the snowflake to give it a little bit of dimension. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, throw that away. And then let's build our little gnome. So in the gnome set, in the Kindest Gnome dies, it comes with everything you're going to need. And you can see how it also has embossed the beard. I don't know, can you see that? So he's embossed as well. And his little nose. Now, I hope I gave everybody this nose. If I did not, let me know, and I will get you a nose, or you can just use a marker to color it in. Okay, and you can see he has a perfect little outline for his nose. So I just glue dotted that on there. And then I'm going to take his hat, and I'm just going to put glue right along the edges here. You can see just right along the edges, and then I'm going to kind of tuck it in. I'm going to kind of tuck it into the nose area, okay? So it sits right there. Oh, I kind of covered up his nose a little. There you go. See how it just kind of tucks there. Now that I did outside, this one I did inside. So it's totally up to you what you want to do with that. And then I'm just going to run some glue. Oop, let me turn that over because I want to make sure the embossing. Oop, nope, that's right. I want to do it this side. I'm going to just run a strip of glue right there to hold his beard into place. And I don't want that on my mat. Just kind of hold them together there. I'm going to flip him over, and I'm going to actually add dimensionals to help hold him together, to give him a little bit more sturdiness here. And we want some in the middle. Of course, we want at the top of the hat. You don't want him collapsing into himself. And then I like to put the dimensionals along the seams of the pieces, because then that'll give it a little extra support holding it together as well. So I'm actually going to take some of these half dimensionals that I have, and I'm going to clip that right in half again and put that on his feet, because I want his feet to have some support as well. Hopefully that works. There we go. And there. Oh, I think I'm going to put one more on his hat. Oh, maybe one here too. I don't usually go so nuts on dimensionals, but I really want to make sure that he is supported and doesn't collapse in, especially when he goes through the mail and the mail machine is, you know, hitting him. So he'll stay up nice. And don't be afraid. You get, what, 300 dimensionals in a pack. Don't be afraid to use them. They're cheap. You can buy more. Okay, so then I'm going to just set him up on the little hill here. And then I'm kind of hitting the snowflake too, and that will help hold the snowflake in place as well. If this is bothering you, you can go ahead and take your glue and hit that back down. And then I'm just going to come back with my gems and add a few gems here too, because it is, you know, the more sparkle, the better, right? So put one right here. And we'll put another one, hello, over here. And, you know, I always talk about threes, right? So I have 1, 2, 3. So there is your first card from your Stamp-A-Stack number 2. Isn't he adorable? Well, yes. You can see I used a little different color there. This, I believe, was the petal pink. That, I'm not sure what I used there, but you get the idea. And he's just a little different, and that's okay. All right, let's move on to card number 2. Okay, here we go with card number 2. So the thing I love about this Kindest Gnome is the paper is so fun. Look at it, it's very Nordic. And these gnomes can be cut out with the dies. So what I'm going to caution you though is there are, I think, 3 die cuts, and you can kind of see like this hat's a little different than that hat. So just make sure that you're doing the right gnome. I did mess that up at one point, but it's fun because you can cut all these gnomes out no problem with the dies without fussy cutting. So that's what we did here. So you will need your Pacific Point ink pad for this. So, and we're using obviously Pacific Point, and you're just going to fold your base in half. So that's just a normal card base cut in half at 5.5. Use my bone folder here. And then I still did use some of the paper. You can see that's from the gnome paper on that side, and that's from it as well. So this piece is actually cut out with the Deckled Rectangles. So can you see it's just got a little bit of edge to it. It's not totally straight. It's kind of deckled. So this is going to be right on top. So let's go ahead and do that. And you could do something really cute with those mushrooms on the other side. So if you don't have this set, I do believe it is on back order right now for until like in a week. I think I saw that it's coming back. But it is such a cute set. I did a Santa with it and some other fun stuff as well. So then I'm going to take just this piece and run it right along here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This stuff makes it so easy to create cards. Like you feel like, okay, I can do this. If you have the right dies, the right sets, you can easily create a beautiful card. So this I'm going to use as my inside only because I have a dark inside. So you want to be able to write easily or stamp on it. I'm not going to stamp right now on this particular one. I might come back later and do it, but you can absolutely, or put a little strip of paper. If you have some left over, you could put a little strip of paper down here. I know lots of gals do that. Make it look nice. Okay. And then let's put together our little guy. Oh, I forgot to grab my paper here, but it should be right here. So this tag or this little strip is out of Stylish, the Stylish dies, Stylish Shapes, I think it's called. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Pacific Point. And this set, the Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, does come with the Kindest Gnome set. Just tap, tap, tap. Don't go crazy and pushing it down in the ink pad. You don't need to do that. Perfect. Get that out of the way before I put my hand in it, right? Okay, so now let's build our card. Now we do need a bow. You can see that. So this is a bow maker someone gifted to me, and I love it because it does make small bows. So I'm taking the ribbon, doing it around, you have to have even number of times. And then I probably have too much ribbon, but that's okay. I've always said I'd rather have too much than not enough. And then you just tie it around like that and tie it tight, and you have a perfect ribbon. And then you pull it off. Da, da, da. I'm going to put that aside. And I'm actually going to cut this down a little because, as you can see, I do have way too much, but that's okay. That's okay. Cut and cut. And I'm going to use a glue dot because glue dots are the bomb. But you know what? I think I'm going to wait to use it because I want to place my other things down first. So I cut these shapes from the He's All That die set. So this is the paper that you could get during celebration, the foiled paper. So I'm going to actually pop this up. So first what we're going to do is do this. We're going to layer these on top of each other. And I'm just putting it in the middle because all I'm doing is creating like a crisscross, right? Like that. Because I'm going to pop this whole thing up. So just make sure it's even. And I'm going to take my little gnome and I'm going to pop him up with lots of dimensionals, right? Of course. He's not quite as big as the one we just created, so I'm just only going to do 6 on him. 5, okay. And then I want to pop this up as well. So it's actually going to run this way. So I'm going to put some down here. I know, right, guys? Make sure you can see me. I just love these, you guys. If you have not gotten these, definitely get them. Like I said, I know right now, as of September 4th, they are on, they're not available. I think they're out of the dies is what they're out of. So they're waiting on a new shipment of dies, but then you can get them. So you lay that down like that and take off all the dimensionals here. I mean, we're still early in the Christmas card making phase for our year. So I have relatives in Norway, so this would be a really cute card, I think, to send them. Because it's kind of Nordic-y, right? All right. And then I'm going to also pop up my Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I know I'm going crazy with the pop-ups, right? It's okay. It's okay. They'll make more. Again, putting one in the middle to keep it, you know, some people are pretty chintzy with their, I am not, because I think your thing will fall apart. Okay, so just right across the bottom there. And then I'm going to go back to these fun gems, maybe. Here's some in my little package. So these, again, coordinate with the Kindest Gnome. So buy the whole suite because you'll get the Kindest Gnome paper. You'll get these little embellishments. You'll get the stamp set and the dies as well. So it gives you the complete what you need, you know. So don't get it all. Otherwise, you're going to be mad when you go to make something and you're like, oh, I didn't get that, right? Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to do is add the ribbon. And like I said, I do like to use my glue dots for this because it holds it very nicely together. And they're pretty strong. So I'm just going to put that right off to the side. And easy peasy lemon squeezy. So you can see my embellishments are a little different in size, and that's okay. It's just to give it that little extra something. So there is our second card. Okay, here is card number 3 and the final card for this series. So this one's a little different. So you definitely need the stamp set if you don't have the paper. Now you could use the paper for, like we talked about on here. You could easily cut out one of these guys and use him there, but I wanted to do a little bit of stamping too. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a scrap piece of paper, of white paper, and your Memento ink, and we're going to stamp him on there. And he does cut out with the dies as well, so that makes it nice too. If you, you know, wanted to do what I'm about to do, then it's no problem, easy peasy. And we're gonna use blends. Now keep in mind, when you use blends, you have to use Memento ink. So that's what this is Memento ink. And I'm actually using the Sweet Sorbet. And when I color with Stampin' Up! Blends, they've kind of already told me where I need to be darker and where I need to be lighter. So when I do that, you know, you get 2 blends in a pack. You get a dark and a light. And again, these are the Sweet Sorbet. So I'm actually going to take the dark and I'm going to just kind of color where they already have lines. So I'm going to color right along the edge here and up and over. And I'm using the point. Makes it a little easier when you have a small area like this. So I'm just kind of going around the edge. Because when you think about things that are folded or how light hits it, it's going to be hitting darker along the edges and lighter. So now I'm bringing in my light and I'm blending it together. You can kind of see, you know, and I think at first people think, oh, it looks so bad. But once it dries, you will see how it blends together. So don't be too critical when you first start using it. It just takes a little bit of practice. Just a little bit. So I'm just blending the dark with the light, and you'll see that it will dry a little bit lighter and a little bit darker in places. So I'm just going to kind of go along the edge and fix that there. And then I'm going to switch back to the point end and just get his little mittens here, because otherwise I'll go way outside the lines if I don't. He's so cute. He is so cute. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with my Bermuda Bay, and I'm actually going to take the darker color to do his cuffs. But you do whatever your heart desires. This is just me. And his little pockets. And little pockets over here. And I think that's good. And then I'm going to come back in with the lighter color and color in the rest of his little shirt. Or I guess it would be a jacket, right? Because it's cold out. Okay, and then I'm going to use crumb cake for his little boots. And this is the light crumb cake. And for his nose, I'm going to come through. This is the lightest blend that they have for like fleshy tones. So I'm just going to use that. So that would be his nose. And if you wanted to do a little on his mouth right there, There you go. So that's him all colored in with blends. Or like I said, you can use, if you have the paper, you can just choose one of those as well. So again, this is Sweet Sorbet. So I cut out a tag from the tailored tag set. If you don't have these tags, you guys, you need to put them into your stamping stash, because it's great. They have, I think there's like 4 different sizes, and then there's 2 different like ends to them. So fancier and more simpler for, you know, the different tags. So using the Sweet Sorbet, I'm going back to the Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, which is in the Kindest Gnome stamp set. And again, tap, tap, tap. See, I didn't tap quite as light as I should have, so let's go ahead and clean that up. Try again. That's why you have 2 sides to a paper, right? Just tap, tap, tap. And stamp. Beautiful. Okay, so that is all the stamping and the coloring. So let me clear this out of the way. Okay, I have gone ahead and cut everything out, and I wanted to show you the next step to this. We're going to put the card together, but I know you can't really tell from looking at this, but this card opens up like this. So the first thing I want you to do is, this is just a normal, you know, 5.5 by 8.5 card. So you're going to fold it in half like you normally would. You know, use your bone folder to get that good burnished seam on it, or you can use your scoring tool to help you score it. So once you've folded it in half, get your trimmer, and you're going to trim 1 inch off of it, off the front side, not off the back side, just off the front side. So we're going to go ahead and trim off just 1 inch. So now your card looks like that. Then go ahead and put your white piece inside. So your white piece is just going to sit like your normal, you know, it's a 4 1/4 or a 4 by 5 1/4. Right. So cute. Yes. And then you're going to take your DSP. I love these trees. And you're going to layer that down. You could even use the other side if you wanted. But I really like the trees. Kind of modern, kind of Scandinavian. And I am Norwegian, so we need a little bit of that in there. Okay. And then I did use that embossing folder again for these pieces. So this is that Whimsical Woodland 3D. My wind is blowing because I have the windows open. It's cool today. I'm going to go ahead and layer these 2 together. So the important thing here is you don't want to put glue on this whole thing, because it's just going to lay like this, right? So what I recommend is putting glue here, because then you won't accidentally glue your piece down. Ask me how I know that, right? Do a little bit more there. And then I'm going to go right to the edge of where that was. And I just want a little of the white showing on that side. This is cute, right? Okay, so that should, so now I don't have it glued down, and you don't have excess glue on that side too, okay? And then this is from, again, from the Stylish Shapes. So I just cut out a big circle. Oops, I'm going to put that a little bit higher because I need room for my tag. So put that there. And I've already put dimensionals on my little gnome. So you didn't have to watch me do that again. You get it. I'm going to set him right in the middle. And then we're going to come take this piece, and I'm just going to cut like a point, because then it makes it a little bit easier getting it through that hole. So let's see if I'm smart enough to do that. So I'm doubling up the ribbon, bringing it through, and then bringing it through the loop. Okay, and that ribbon's a little long, so I'm just gonna trim it down, because you just want a little piece kind of sticking up there. And I'm gonna do it, you could do it this way, but make sure you don't want your dimensional sitting, you know, on that cardstock. So I'm gonna kind of put it up like this. Okay, so keep that in mind. You don't want to close off your cards. Sorry about that. Okay, so maybe I should have probably gone a little higher on there, because I think I'm just going to set this like this. So keep in mind, however you want to do it. If you want to offset it that way or set it that way, you probably need to bring your circle up just a little bit. And then the final touch, of course, is going to be these fun gems again. I just love them. The Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Gems. So we're going to use one of the bigger ones to put on the end of his hat, kind of like a tassel on the end of his hat. And, you know, because I do have a little boo-boo there, I'm going to take another one of these and just put it there, kind of, you know, and then we'll put another one right over there. And so there are my 3 that I always talk about. So, okay, that's it, you guys. Those are the number 2 Stamp-A-Stack for the season. So we did those, we did these, and let's find the other ones. And we did these. So lots of fun, lots of options for this Kindest Gnome. I hope you enjoyed it, and happy stamping.